learners and also as teachers, we've noticed that there's many different situations that we end up in that make us feel very vulnerable. As language teachers, we interviewed 2 different international students who were studying in America in graduate programs and 3 Americans who lived abroad. From that, we were able to see 3 major themes of cultural stress that they experienced, from everyday life issues to emotional struggles, and then also to subtle communication problems. From this, we were also able to see the people who helped them adjust in their cultural stress and also the strategies they used. The following video will show several different interviews from people who experienced these things.
I had lived in Germany before, so I felt like I would be fine. I felt like I wouldn't have any cultural stress and that it would be a smooth transition and I wasn't worried. I already spoke German and I knew that people understood me. It would be fine.
My first time to show in class, and then I see students just sitting informally, casually, they're crossing legs fine, and they're eating class, everything is fine. Somebody just taking juice and drinking juice, or somebody just having a lunchbox or something and eating. So for me, it took a long time until maybe this year. So I was not able to do it. I could be just hungry, suffering, but I couldn't adjust to that to go get a snack or something and eat in class or even in the university in general. So I always waited until I go home and then I eat my meal.
Another stressful situation was going to the market, because in France, as I'm assuming definitely in other countries too, but you go to the market and it's outdoors, a lot of haggling, fast speech, money going really quickly between hands, and I was not used to that. I was freaking out. Some things I would want to buy, I wouldn't buy them because I was like, this is too scary. I'm just not going to buy the grapes this week. I don't need grapes.
Also, it's kind of weird getting used to Christmas there, since it's in the summer. They do barbecues out on the beach and things like that, which is very different than what we do here.
When I was in high school, I was a junior in high school, and I had a harder time fitting in with the American kids. I felt like I always stay with the Vietnamese group all the time and speaking Vietnamese all the time outside classroom.
And when I stepped into my dorm room, there was nothing in it. There were no sheets on the bed, there was no pillow, there was no blanket, and I didn't know that I was supposed to bring these things. There was no internet, there was no phone connection, so I couldn't call out of the building. I could just call within the building, but I didn't know anyone in the building, so it was kind of useless. And so I could feel this kind of tension rising in my chest.
When they make jokes, I really didn't understand. It's not that I didn't understand the language, but the underlining of the jokes and culture, mostly cultural reference. And once somebody has to explain the joke to you, though, it's not funny anymore. Yeah, so that was a real difficulty, because people use humor to relate to each other, and I felt like I couldn't use that. I couldn't relate to people that way. Yeah.
I remember my first class was just sitting there. I don't know what's going on. They're speaking, and the language, it was a big issue also. It's my first time being in a native speaker, an English speaking country, and they all speak English. They're speaking fast for me. That was very, very fast. I couldn't follow up with everything. And then I don't know, they speak fast, different language, and then about new things that I don't know. So it was really difficult. But
when I came to Atlanta, to Georgia State, so I thought I've been in America for 2 years. I understand the language, I understand pretty much everyone, but I was wrong, because when I got here, the Southern dialect was really hard for me to understand. So it took me a couple months to get used to it.
So for going to the market, it helped me to try to imagine what the scenario would be like in my mind. So try to do like a role play in my head. So in my head there was the different vendors, and then here's me, and what's the exchange gonna be like, what am I gonna say, kind of anticipating what the conversation would be like. And that helped me a little bit because I felt a little bit more confident, like I was okay, I was on my French Parisian flow, and I just, okay, I can do this, I have more confidence, and I'm gonna buy those grapes, and I'm just gonna get it for a really good price, and that's it.
But something that helped me before coming, that I had trainings and orientations about what to expect in the culture and how you should address people and the space between people and the greetings. So these things helped, but at the same time it was very different from being yourself, like emotionally involved in the culture and the experience. It's different from just getting information from people.
Mostly participation in school activities, especially anything that require leadership, because it required me to like stand in front of people and speak out, and I had to overcome, you know, the fear of saying the wrong thing and feeling of like embarrassed or shame when people try to correct me. Like I take it in as like a positive thing that people care, so like they try to correct me.
So one of the things that helped me adapt to the culture was my church like set me up with somebody right at the beginning to help me to understand the culture a little bit better, make sure I was getting used to things, that I understood what was going on.
Yeah, before I came, like I had friends here from the United States, like on Facebook, so I was following what they say and some situations they mentioned, so it kind of gave me a little bit of understanding what is right or wrong, but not really understanding because it's different, it's just Facebook. But they were studying in the AUC for the American University in Cairo for a semester, so we exchanged visits. We visited each other, went to places together, and that like helped the language and helped understanding about like the culture. We used to Skype also after they left, so that kind of like introduced me to the culture a little bit.
I made a friend over there who was actually from the same area in America, in New York, where I was from. And we kind of we bonded over not having the best experiences in France. Granted, her experiences were a lot worse, but we bonded over that. And we would visit places together, and we would go to different areas. And so that helped a lot. And especially the friends that I made at a local church that I would go to, they were so kind. They opened up their homes to me, would invite me for dinner, take me out to DC, different areas of the city. So that was really helpful too.
Being with people who are in the same situation, so like international students from Vietnam or other countries, because they're going through the same thing. So when I talk about my experience, like they understand what I'm talking about and they can relate.
So one thing that really helped me acclimate to the culture was families would invite us over to just get used to the culture a little bit more, and they would even try to celebrate American holidays. For instance, one family invited us over for Thanksgiving, which obviously they don't have in Australia. They didn't really know how to celebrate Thanksgiving. They made us burgers and said Happy Thanksgiving. That was about it. But even just, trying to help us to have a few experiences from home was great.
Prior to making this video, as a group of English language teachers, we felt that teachers would probably have a large impact on their students and how they handled cultural stress in different countries. However, after we watched the videos and did the interviews, we realized the one thing that people said made the biggest difference was having authentic relationships with either people in the same experience as they were having, or people who were natives and trying to be very empathetic of their situation. In conclusion, as language teachers, we felt that we should be more conscious of how authentic friendships really foster and help students adjust to new culture surroundings.